Kevin, and I'm here with PJ Pape at the Specialty Coffee Exhibition, and PJ has a company called New York WaterMaker, and it's interesting because I'll let him tell the story, but it started, he works on getting people's water in shape, and of course all of us at CoffeeCon and the CoffeeCompanion.com know that water is a huge variable that we all struggle with. But this is a guy that really knows his stuff about water, and thank you for consenting to be interviewed, PJ.
Thank you, and thanks for the compliment on water. I don't know if I'm as smart as you say I am, but we have a pretty good idea on where water needs to be in the food and beverage industry. Like you mentioned, Kevin, this company was an accident and a spin-off from our water filtration and disinfection company, Green Crown Water. We went into the pizza, into the food and beverage sector a little over a year ago, and we've been what you would call making designer water for people that wanted a specific water characteristics, and where we could replicate that water, that source water, in every city over and over for water consistency. A big issue is having that exact water from their flagship location, let's say in Boston, replicated throughout the country. And we do that in different ways with our system. We address with multiple filters. We address bacteria and eliminate that, such as E. coli or other bacteria that might have with ozone and ultraviolet. We adjust water frequency, so there's no calcium, magnesium that's adhering to the equipment, which is a big problem. It actually suspends. And then we do an ion resin exchange, where we have different blends based on what the output of water is going to be. So we make sure we meet your TDS profile, the parts per million. If the target's 150, we're there. Eliminating chlorine down to 0 is important. Neutralizing pH. Some people might want it more acidic, we're able to do that. Some more alkaline, we're able to do that. And where we produce that water exactly how they want it. And that's our goal.
Now, interesting. Where would you say, it's interesting that pizza, just bringing it to food, because everyone, I think, who likes coffee likes pizza. I think everybody likes pizza.
Yes. Pizza is probably the most consumed food probably in America, right? Or if not the world.
So the water really is, it's interesting that it's funny that you mentioned that, because I've had pizzas from a chain, and I'll have it like in Chicago, for instance, and then I'll have it in LA or New York, and it tastes different. And not necessarily worse, but different. And I've often wondered, how could it be different? It's got it right. They got to be using the old family recipe.
Absolutely. So I say a franchise uses the same cheese, they use the same flour, they use the same sauce, but when they go from city to city, the only ingredient that they do not have is the same water. So they're using the same process, all the other ingredients, but the water changes. And unlike other systems out there, we don't strip everything down and then add back. We keep water in its natural state. So bringing down the hardness, bringing down the total dissolved solids, neutralizing pH, we believe is the secret, more to, again, keeping it in its natural state.
So you're not using reverse osmosis?
No, we're not using reverse osmosis, and we believe that's the big difference. Again, when you use reverse osmosis in certain applications, you can't have exact characteristics you're looking for, and you're still in a lot of situations dealing with the calcium, magnesium, the hardness, damaging the equipment, because you're not able to filter it all, and over time it builds up. By us, we keep that completely suspended, and we bind it together to formulate to a larger particle size, and we're able to extract 100% of the calcium, magnesium. so to avoid the damaging of equipment.
Wow, that is awesome. That's the biggest problem. And I once had RO equipment. One thing I learned about RO equipment too, I don't know if this is any different with your stuff, but my water bill was whopping because I thought it threw out as much water as it was processing, if not more.
That is a great point that you bring up. This machine is very sustainable. We do not require a backwash, and there's no need for it. We actually swap out these tanks and filters real quick and easy. We're able to just quick disconnect for a 2-minute change of the filters. So we're not doing a backwash. There's no use of water, and we also have changed the head where we're not even using energy on this. So we don't need energy as well. So it's a very sustainable design now.
Wow, that is impressive. So you can actually, you save energy and you save water using this type of method.
Correct.
Well, plus, and probably, admittedly, with all the environmental and cost benefits, still the most important things with coffee is taste, because if it isn't keeping the taste where you want it, it's all for naught.
It's pointless. I agree at that point.
We all know how to get a can of coffee or an instant coffee and get some cheap caffeine in the morning.
Exactly.
That's not this show, and that's not us.
No, and most of the artisans and the people that are really passionate about coffee, and everyone here at the expo, they're here for a reason, to see the most innovative technology, and understand what's going to make their coffee bean end product really taste the right way.
And PJ, just to understand the id of my fellows here is that, you know, we're competing against products like wine and beer, where at least somebody back in the process has already addressed all these things. And then it gets to us. We've got beans that we've paid a lot of money for. We've been taught that we've got to use them within 2 weeks from roast. The right beans, expensive beans, and then, you know, get the right grinder, the right brewer, and then all of a sudden we have this huge 98% of that cup of coffee has water in it that most of us, frankly, don't even want to drink.
Right, it's overlooked, and when you mention and don't want to drink, last year traveling, I noticed truck drivers walking in with big cups and jugs of empty cups to load up on coffee at one stop, because certain cities, the municipalities, the water's so different, they won't even stop there for the next 100 miles or 150 miles and want to drink that coffee. So sometimes we take water for granted and just think you open the tap and it gives you what we want. But when you're dealing with something specific as making the right cup of coffee or eating pizza or bread, the yeast and the coffee beans are really looking for certain minerals to make the aroma and the taste flourish.
That is extremely edifying to our group here. So I really appreciate this information, PJ. Now I'm going to ask you one really tricky question.
Oh boy.
And it's a very important political burning question of the day. And it's don't worry, it's not about the various political parties or anything like that. I don't go there.
No, I remain neutral as well.
yeah. But it's about pizza. Okay, go ahead. Tell us, what's the best pizza in the if not the world, the country at least?
Definitely have to be slighted. Growing up in New York City, it's New York pizza. Sorry, Chicago, you're close second.
Well, that's you know, what can I say? I will let him have the last word, because one thing I can't stand about the media, they always get the last word. I'll let him have you can have the last word, PJ.